Well, today, kiddos, we have a 2000 Expedition with a shake at 60-65 miles an hour. When she goes into overdrive, the entire vehicle is shaking. The people that own it think the transmission's going out, but I say, no, I don't think it's a transmission. I've seen this before. This has got 240,000 miles on it. The check engine light is not on, but I suspect the bulb is probably burned out. I've seen this before. But let's look at the engine here real quick. Alright, there she is in all of her glory. She's been a good engine. She's haven't had too much done to it that I know of, but it does have a lot of miles on it. Over 200,000, and you can see we got a little bit of an oil leak down here on the valve pan cover. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So the deal is, like I said, when they're driving it, when it goes into overdrive, especially uphill, you can feel it shaking like this. Now, what happens a lot of times, you can have a perfectly good running vehicle just like this. We'll set the keys in here and start it up. And we'll fire it up, and I don't see no check engine light service soon, so the bulb is apparently burnt out. 275,000 miles, but give credit where credit is due. This engine sounds amazing still. Listen at it. And you don't see it missing, which is pretty common. Now what happens, we have probably more than likely a coil issue. One of these coils is either bad, or we got some moisture from rain that's gotten down off of this right here and dripped down onto that engine. And walk around this side, you see how wonderful this motor sounds. So definitely just a minor issue here, I think. And also, you can check your transmission fluid if you want. Dipstick on this one is right down there. That's exactly what we're going to do. Now, after 2002, they seal these transmissions up. You cannot check the transmission fluid. It's a long, complicated process. You got to crawl up under it, take a plug out and all that. So let's see. So the transmission fluid is nice and red, and it's full just like it should be. So we'll smell it. Yeah, it smells fine. So we'll go ahead and hook the code reader up to it and see what this Expedition is hiding, what it is revealing with that check engine light off. So let's get our code scanner out here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get our Novia scanner here and check these guys out. I did a video on this earlier in the, well, later in the year. And this is a pretty good tool. You plug it in, it does all the good stuff itself. So we'll go ahead and hook this up. Find our port. This has a LED light, so if you're using this at night, it makes it wonderful. Let's go ahead and just turn it on for you. Check that out. Woo! Isn't that pretty fancy, huh? Yeah. For blind people like me. That's okay. I used to be able to see a mosquito combing its hair when I was younger, but not anymore. So we'll hook it up down here on the bottom. And it beeps. And let's see, I think you can kind of see it. Let me zoom in a little bit for you there. She's scanning away. There we go. I'll hold this as steady as possible. 57%. Now in this vehicle, I didn't have to put the key in the switch, which was kind of interesting. So I guess the battery-powered scan tool here makes a difference. Most one out of zoom, out of focus there, out of camera range. All right, so now we got to put the key in. So sometimes it works that way, and sometimes it doesn't. So, all right, turn the key on. All right, so let's do this again. Sorry to waste your time on that one. Kind of wasted my time also. I would imagine there's going to be an EGR code, because I know there's one. Alright, so we got 171, 2-lane. Let's see, we got a couple of codes here. Let's see what we got. We got 4. The one I'm looking for is going to be probably a P0308 or something. P0171. Gas circulation. 2-lane. Check that out. Cylinder 4 misfire detected. So there is our shaking issue right there. So how about that? The P0171 is emissions. That's more than likely there's a hose off somewhere. There's a crack in a hose. Same with, there's another 171, and another 171. Now what's nice about this scanner here, especially the 6100, is it tells you if it's a dangerous thing to do to drive it or not. And you can see it could be a threat, but it's not likely to hurt anything major, but you do want to get it fixed. And at the top here you see this little red blinking CAT. Well, that means that your emissions, you get a problem with it. But everything else checks out fine. The fuel, the O2, the EGR, evaporation systems, okay. So what we're going to do is find out where cylinder number 4 is. Cylinder misfire detected number 4. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to go out there and see what's going on with one of those coils. We'll take it down the road after we fix it, change it out, and see if that takes care of it. So, alright, let's go find number 4. Alright, so here's the front of the engine. Number 8 is over there. Number 4 is going to be right back here in the back. It's going to be the farthest one back there, the most difficult one to get to. And before you say, well, how do you know that? That's not over there. Number 4 is over there. And, well, check this out. Boom! In your face. I always do research before I work on these vehicles. You should too. It makes life a lot easier. So now we got to go back in there and see what's going on. So we'll just go ahead and pull that coil out, check it, make sure it's not wet, and also make sure that there's not anything shorting it out like water or oil. Alright, there's one accomplishment. Wow, that thing is back in there. So I think you can see that. See that little yellow looking thing back here? That's part of the plug. Now we gotta get some, we gotta get a little tiny socket. I believe it's going to be a 6mm. Alright, I think you can see the plug is actually right there. So this clip is actually underneath, so you have to put your thumb under this plug, push on it. That's how you release that. Now, I'm thinking all this oil here that was spilled when he lost the cap and had to get another one, I bet the oil blew back through there and ran down on that intake and eventually leaked into that bottom coil. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that coil out of there. And what we're going to be using is a, well, for me it's a 7mm little socket. This is what seems to fit on there. So now we're going to climb up in there and pull that out of there. I don't know, maybe you can see what I'm doing in there. I doubt it, but alright. I did not lose my socket, which is amazing, and I think we get the bolt off. Alright, it's off. Now the trick is getting it out without dropping it. Keep my fingers crossed. Oh my goodness, I got it. Well, no wonder it took so long to get it out. I forgot how long these bolts are. Oh. That, my friend, is a coil bolt. And, yeah, 7 fit on there pretty good. Alright, now, I had to take my gloves off, unfortunately, but see if we can pull this coil up out of here. Oh, it's coming. Oh, there it goes. Alright, let's see what we got here. And my friend, remember about 5 clips back when I said, I bet you, I'm curious, I think the oil probably got down there and is shorting it out. Look inside there. This will cause a misfire, folks, how wet this is. So that oil is causing this misfire. So I have a new coil. We're just going to stick a new one in it. And I'll mark this one as a backup. There's a problem right there. So sometimes you just got to get in there and dig and look. So find another coil and put in it. I'm going to see if I can clean some of this oil up before we put this coil on. We'll take a rag and some cleaner and clean up the best I can. So there you go. Hey, where are you watching me from? Let me know in the comment section below. I like to find out where my peeps are at. Alright, let's see what we got in the old treasure trove. 4.6 coils. Some are new, some are used. Bunch of them here. We'll just pick one out. These are all good. Although this one here can be reused. You pull this boot off, it just pulls right off. Clean it real good with some cleaner. It's a good, perfectly good backup coil, but since it's been back there a while and it's a little flimsy, we're going to put one of these really stiff ones on there. So, alright, so we got our donor coil here. This one was raising its hand saying, me, 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 me. So this one's clean. I pulled it apart. And you can just pull these apart like this. You just kind of pull like this. And I sprayed a lot of cleaner in there, cleaned it, air dried it. And she's ready to rock and roll. Now, before I put this on here, some of you are saying, well, you didn't look in the spark plug hole and see if there's any oil. Well, yes, I did. There's my light. Here is my guy right here, old mirror. I know you can't see it, but I've looked down in there in that hole and I can see the spark plug. It is pretty much bone dry. So all the oil actually got on the coil and was absorbed by this plastic, and over time the heat kind of evaporated it a little bit or whatever, and it actually kept it from going all the way down in there. So I'll go ahead and stick this on here. You know what? I see a little tear right there. I'm going to replace this. See that right there? I know it's not going to hurt anything, but you want this to seal really good. So I'll get another boot and we'll stick this on. Alright, here's our donor. She looks pretty good. A little paint on her. Clean it up. Stick her in and hope for the best. I think this will take care of our problem. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in myself. Of course, I'm going to have to take my gloves off because I do not want to drop that little bolt that goes down in there like this. So you might want to have a magnet on standby. So let's do it. Alright, we got it on and we get the little bolt tight, and now the magic is to get the socket off without losing it. Alright, so there we go. Now I will give you a quick tip here. I have to take the camera off the tripod. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but the coil is right about there where my finger is pointing, back there. Right here you got your fuel injector. That little bolt that goes on that coil, if you can't see it, just move your injector here. You can actually spin this, turn it a little bit, although you probably can't see my finger. I think you can see it there. This guy right here, I don't think you can see it, but you slide it back a little bit and you can see that bolt. Then just kind of take your finger like this, and I'm trying so hard to show you guys this, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Right there, just kind of turn that injector back around where it should be, and you're good to go. So that's all done. All we gotta do is hook the wire back up. And where did the wire go? Let's find it real quick here. I'll stick that back on, and we'll call this a job fixed, hopefully. Alright, there's the wire. I think you can see it right there. Get it on there. And now we're pretty much finished with this job. So now we'll go ahead and start it up. I did clean up some oil. Took a rag and went in there. It really wasn't a whole lot, and I think that was probably excess oil that kind of drained down on the valve pan when they missed the hole here, and some of the oil went to that back coil. But these here I've replaced not long ago for them, so that's the way it is sometimes. Alright, so let's clean up here and start this baby up and take it for a ride and see what we got. Alright folks, now before we start this up and fly off into the wild blue yonder, the hose came off on the back of this plenum up here in the back, and this is a big problem for a lot of expeditions. Back here where my finger is, what I've got to do, I've got to unbolt this little piece of the intake here, slide this out, and see what's going on. There is absolutely no room in there. If your vehicle is running really rough at idle and you hear it hissing, these are notorious for breaking, so I need to take some of the stuff off here real quick, get in there and fix that. Then we'll start this up and it should be alright. So I thought I would just kind of throw this extra little precautionary fix in for you guys if you have the 4.6 or the Expedition. I think all 4.6s may actually have this big vacuum hose that goes in the top of this plenum. So let me go ahead and check this out real quick. Alright, so after we get all of our bolts out of these are little 10mm bolts, and if you have the EGR tube right here, you unscrew this on the side. I think you can kind of see that right here. Then you unhook a few hoses here and disconnect your throttle cable. This piece will come up just like this, and here's a problem all these Expeditions have and Fords on the back here. You can see this vacuum line that goes in here in the back of this. Well, somebody at Ford thought it was cute to put on something like this. So I'm going to have to find a reducer, fix this somehow. So that little piece of hose will go into this. The original one that was on here dry rotted and came apart. Now here is a look at your EGR. If you can get these two bolts here out, you can just pull this whole EGR valve out of the way, and it gives you a lot more room to get into this last bolt. But let me tell you what, that last bolt there, you gotta use a little socket like this and get in there and get the best you can and get you a magnet, which I have up there, fish these bolts out, and you're good to go. So now I gotta figure out something for this. So just so you know, if you have a hissing, put your hand back here, shake this around. If your idle changes or tries to stall, right there's your problem. So let me figure out something here. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Here was my fix after going through a bunch of these hoses that I didn't have, and here's what we had on there before. Basically it was a reducer. It's a 3/4 inch reducer. I grabbed a little 1/2 inch line, shoved it inside this guy here, and this is the basically a PVC valve. That's all it is. Shoved that down in there, and it ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna actually go push that in there a little bit farther and make it flush. And this hose there, you see, the one that this one goes into, goes in there about 1.5 inches. So that should take care of it. So that's one way you can fix it. Let me flip it over, and you can see it's not even coming through there yet, but it's in there good and tight. And we can put it back together. So that thing, we'll get some glue around it. It's in there tight. This is actually a reducer. I don't know if Ford sells this here, but this seems like it's one long piece that comes out to here. So it could be an adapter. I don't know, but this is all I had to deal with tonight. But it'll work just as good. Shouldn't be a problem. And now we'll just go ahead and put this in the valve cover and bolt all this on. And now we'll take it for a ride. We'll start it up, take it for a ride, and see if our mist is gone. And also, it just occurred to me, the P0171, this here was probably causing it. I had a big air leak in the system. We had 3 codes for the emissions on this. So this may actually take care of that problem also. So let's go ahead and get this on. All right, we pretty much got everything back together, and you can see in the back there how that line kind of comes out back there, snakes around there. It comes down to the PVC valve, which is right back there. So that should stay. That should be a permanent fix. We shouldn't have to worry about this no more. And now we'll go ahead and put the air cleaner on it and start it up, check the codes, take it for a ride, and see if she runs like new again. Alright, so everything's back together, and say goodbye to this thing. There's probably a part number for this. If anybody knows on the 4.6s, let me know in the comment section below. That way we can help other folks out. That's what YouTube is all about, right? Helping each other out. Let's go ahead and start this up. I think I can reach my hand in here far enough. Get the key. See what we got. Hey, sounded good. Hey, now she sounds good. Just like she used to. Smooth. Yes. And I don't hear no more hissing. Perfect. This is what we wanted. Alright, so let's go check out let's see if we have any codes. Well, actually, we're going to clear the codes. No powertrain codes found. That's because I had the battery unhooked. So it's automatically going to clear the codes because I had to check the battery terminals and clean them. And looks like we're going to be okay here. So it seems to be running pretty good. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and take it for a drive for a little bit and see if anything comes back as a code or anything, and we'll see how it works out. Alright, some good news. I've been driving it for about 4 or 5 hours, and perfect. No codes. It runs perfect now. It doesn't shake hard in the overdrive when it goes up on the big hills. Now it's nice and smooth. But definitely number 4 was a problem on that cylinder. It did cause a problem with it shaking. Now when you mash on the gas, it sends you down the highway, so it's got plenty of power now. And I'm really happy. So if you like this video and if it helps you out, give it a thumbs up, guys. And until my next video, I will see you later.